Well, it is great to have all of you here with us today. Yes, welcome to the Next Level Happy Hour. My name is David Trotter, and we're excited whether you're watching live, aka Tim. Tim, welcome. Or if you're watching via replay, which is all of the rest of you, we host this happy hour every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern time, and lots of other times around the globe. I'm sure you can figure it out. And we're just honored to have you here. The goal of our time together, whether you join us live every Friday or via replay, is to leave you feeling a little tipsy with happiness. Yeah. It's a happy hour, right? We want you to leave a little tipsy with happiness. And the goal then is just to help you feel good and grow personally. And the goal, the ultimate goal, is that if you grow personally, it's going to grow you in every area of your life. It's going to impact your relationships positively. It's going to impact your business and or your job positively. And of course, we want it to impact your bottom line, your finances, and your mental health, of course. So that's the goal of what we're doing here. And so we have two amazing people plus me. Hey, I don't want to be like patting myself on the back here too much. So today we've got three speakers, as we do every day. And so we've got Ania Halama, who is the rebel entrepreneur. She travels the globe for the last 6-7 years, and she's currently in Colombia. And Ania is a spiritual transformation guru, coach, consultant. She's going to help you transform your life spiritually, and she does that through meditation and tapping and all sorts of mindset breakthroughs. So Ania, welcome. Let's all give Ania a round of applause. Thank you. Yes. And we have Burke Hedges, who is a renowned author, speaker, consultant, sales training guru, especially in the area of direct sales. And Burke has sold millions of books, and he hails from the great state of Florida, where you do not need to wear a mask. I believe that is the truth. So he's not wearing one right now. And then myself, David Trotter, who I have been done all sorts of things. I was a pastor for over 10 years. I've been a filmmaker, author, speaker, and I love helping people start and grow successful businesses based in their passion, whatever they are passionate about in life. So that's the three of us. So welcome. And we want to get started today. And if you are watching and you have not been a part of this before, we have a speaker that shares some concepts for about 5 to 7 minutes. And then we do a breakout room for about 7 to 10 minutes as well, just to be able to talk through what things are happening. So today, because our group is small, we'll be just having a breakout with us, which is great. So our first presenter today is Ania Halama. Ania, it is great to have you with us and help us experience a spiritual transformation in 5 to 7 minutes. Let's do it.
Oh, good. Can't wait. Okay, so I will be doing emotional freedom technique today, also known as EFT tapping or tapping by creator Gary Craig. So what tapping is, we all have these meridian points in our body similar to acupuncture points. And what tapping does is we hit on these meridian points and we release any kind of limiting beliefs, any kind of gunk, I like to say, that is stuck within our bodies. Any kind of, I don't feel good, I don't know how to attract anything, money's not coming towards me, oh, I'm just having a bad day. Me personally, I used it for anxiety, I use it for insomnia, and the transformations are literally like instant, 7 minutes, that's all you need.
I love it.
Instant, it's amazing. So we all have these meridian points that we'll be tapping on. We'll start off saying with a negative affirmation going into a positive affirmation. So the points are side of the hand, eyebrow, side of the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, under the arm, and then top of the head. And we'll do several of these repetitions. I will start off, you will repeat after me. Feel free to unmute yourself, mute yourself, whatever you feel comfortable. There's no right way or wrong way to do tapping. You could do 2 hands, you could do 1 hand, you can do 1 finger, 2 fingers, whatever, as long as you're tapping on these points and getting yourself in it. I would love to, feel free to unmute yourself right now. I would love to talk to you a little bit to see what kind of struggles have you been dealing with this week? What have been some of those things that have been coming up for you this week? Just so we can work through some of that and then go into the weekend with like a good positive mindset where we're excited, where we're ready for this weekend, bringing it in, and then Monday we could come back to center again. So feel free to unmute yourself and let me know some of the things that have been going on in your week. Feel free to say a sentence or two.
Yeah, and I would encourage AB or Ab to show yourself on video. That'd be great, just so we can all interact with one another. Welcome. It's great to have you. I'll go first, Ania. I've had a lot of big transitions in my life with relationships and finances recently. And so I think those are the two things that are on my heart, is like peace in my relationships and the opportunity for new breakthroughs in my finances.
I love it. Yeah, we could definitely align something to that opportunity for new opportunities.
Perfect. Beautiful. For me, unfortunately, I had to deal with COVID again. So that really threw me for a tailspin, and because I was not expecting it at all. So it comes back to probably my most favorite quotes. And that is, if you want to make God laugh, just go ahead and tell him your plans, because I did not expect all this stuff. So yeah, I think focus might be my number one culprit this week. I've taken on so many projects, and or not so many, enough of them that one person feels pretty overwhelmed. And so that's it. Not finishing what I'm supposed to finish, which I'm going to work all weekend long on. That's it.
Thank you so much for sharing, Burke. Yes, we'll tap on those as well. Tim and Ab, would you like to share a little bit how your week has been going?
Oh yes, I'm here in Dallas, Texas, so we're dealing with the snow, and I'll have to hang up this call. I got a few things done, but not as much. I'm just dealing with, just like Burke was saying, just dealing with focus and doing what I need to do, procrastination. But the positive is that with the snow and stuff, that I can't go anywhere, just able to do some stuff around the house, around the apartment. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Yes.
Thank you.
Tim, you are muted. We can't hear you.
And real quick, AB or Ab, I didn't catch your name. I don't think we've met before. What was your name?
Abembla, or AB.
Cool. Good to have you.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go. So it's just been a stressful week for me. I've taken on some new projects, and in my personal life, struggling with a couple of relationships here. In the house, we have one person that's just got dementia. And so just dealing with that. This morning, for example, she just took off walking down the neighborhood. And so kind of went out the door, jumped right out of bed and went out the door. I don't wear pajamas. But anyway, so you get the point. And so it was a little embarrassing this morning, but just dealing with some things like that, and it seems to be kind of ongoing.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm so sorry for everything that everyone is going through, because we all, God throws us these things into our lives, and we have to figure out how to deal with them as time goes on. But it sounds like—
What about you, Ania?
What about me? Ooh, just overwhelm, procrastination as well. I've been dealing, I started a new business a couple months ago, and we're finally about to start making money. So it's just been really hectic, like trying to get everything together, trying to move everything, but it's all going to work out. I have full faith. So There seems to be a topic, lots of relationships, opportunities, procrastination, and stress. So that's what we will focus our tappings on mostly today. Before we get started, I would love for you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 through 10, and we're going to rate ourselves after the tapping as well. Where you're feeling currently from 1 through 10 with relationships, procrastination, overwhelm, all of the stress of this week. 10 being I'm so freaking stressed, and 1 being I've got this. I don't need to be here, essentially. So rate yourself on a scale of 1 through 10. Feel free to put it in the chat, and we'll rate ourselves again at the end. 10. Ooh, yes, all the numbers, all the stress.
Yes.
7. All right. All right, let's center ourselves. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. And release. Take another deep breath in. Hold it. And release. And a final breath in. Hold it. And release. Now again, I will start off the affirmations, and you will repeat them after me. Even though I have all of this stress and overwhelm in my life, that's stopping me from having the best week.
That's stopping me from.
I've had so much anxiety and so much stress over this week. All of these opportunities coming my way.
All these opportunities coming my way.
All of these relationships that are just not working how they're supposed to. I'm just keep losing focus. And this non-focus isn't getting me anywhere. So I show up to these happy hours to make myself feel better. And even though I have all of this overwhelm, I deeply and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. Take another breath in. And release. Tapping on your eyebrow. This week has been so stressful. I've been getting so many new projects thrown my way. And I'm just not sure how to deal with all of them. I keep procrastinating on my work. And it's stressing me out a little bit. I kind of just rather go take a nap. And hopefully that just fixes itself. Because I have so much stress and anxiety this week. And I know that if I show up to these happy hours, that's going to make my life a little bit easier. At least I'm hoping for a better weekend. So that Monday I can come back and I can feel so much better. But I know I need to deal with these things today so that I can start all of these new projects that I have. And that I can make my body feel better. So that I can come back fully healthy and living the best life. Because that's what life should be all about. We should all want to live our best lives. Lives that are stress-free. And we should be in flow. And things just work out for us. And sometimes these relationships that I have around me, whether that's my spouse, my family, my significant other, my friends, or the people that I work with. They should all be adding joy and love to my life and not stress. So I'm choosing today to make today the best day ever, because it's all just one day at a time. I've heard before that small steps lead to big successes. And if I look at it this way, doing one thing at a time, that will alleviate a lot of the stress that I have on myself. And I'll finally be able to have peace. Peace of mind, peace of everything. Because life is truly tremendous. So I'm calling in a peace into body, mind, and heart. I'm calling in prioritizing myself and my tasks. And I'm calling in a fantastic weekend. A weekend where I'm in flow. A weekend where I feel fantastic. A weekend where I give love towards everyone. And a weekend where I'm just peaceful and stress-free. I'm calling in abundance. I'm calling in peace of mind. I'm calling in healthy relationships. And I'm calling in a beautiful, healthy body. Once I have all of this in order, my life will start being happier. And I'll start being happier. I'm already noticing a shift in my energy. Things are free flowing towards me. And these happy hours help so much, because abundance is our birthright. And we all deserve abundance. So I'm calling in more abundance into these new projects and opportunities that are flowing my way. I'm calling in prioritizing my notes. And I'll start creating a to-do list every single day. And if I get too overwhelmed, I'll create 3 income-producing activities each day. And I'll start sticking to only those 3 activities. Hey, I could do 3 things a day. So instead of getting overwhelmed, I can do 3 things, and I can do those 3 things very well. I'm calling in all of the flow of energy. I'm calling the beauty into this weekend and the next week coming forward. I'm calling peace into body, mind, and heart. I'm calling in more self-love for myself. I'm calling in a fantastic weekend. And I'm calling in all the right opportunities and people into body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. Take another deep breath in. Hold it. And release. Now I'd want you to rate yourself again on that same scale, 1 through 10. How are you feeling now after that tapping? 10 again being, I have so much stress, I have so much overwhelm, I can't keep focused, all these relationships are crazy. And 1 being, I don't have any of that, I shouldn't have been here. How are you feeling now? Feel free to write it in the chat. 4, much better. 3, 6. Fantastic. Tim, you're still really high up. Feel free to go back to this tapping, and once the recording is up, and do it all over again. I also have a bunch of tappings on my own page. If we're already connected, feel free to do any of those. How are you feeling after that tapping? We should open up the floor now, do our little breakout room, and feel free to share what came up for you, actually.
This is my first time doing this, I think, this like long of a pronounced period of time. So I found myself almost like I felt like I was in a trance almost. I'm like, what is she saying? What am I saying? What am I, you know what I mean? Like I was like just in this weird zone. But I also had other thoughts coming in, challenges that I'm dealing with. I felt those coming in. But what's interesting is your voice is so fascinating because it's like you were being almost playful, not meditative, right? And so I almost felt at the end like, oh, okay, if Ania believes this, like Ania believes this, I think she believes this for me. Okay, yeah, if Ania believes this for me, I think I can believe this for myself too. So I almost felt like this transformation of like your belief in me, although we don't know each other, like coming into me. So like that's what I was left with.
Thank you. That's beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. When we do group, like I'm also a channel. So like I'll feel your energy when I do these things. And I love doing group tappings because like what one person might feel might also be the same thing. And then you've seen that energy exchange. Like, yes, I am playful when I do these because a lot of the times we're just stuck in our heads so much saying like, oh, it's always the negative. It's always a negative. It's always the negative. Well, why don't we bring some joy and happiness? Joy and happiness is some of the highest frequencies up there. If we can add some of that joy and happiness, even through like a meditative state, that automatically reprograms your mind right away. That's beautiful. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, thank you, David. And thank you, Ania, for that. I really enjoyed that. And for me, it was a feeling of, believe it or not, energy, and this energy came as the result of me letting go, this consistency of letting go that aggravates me. And it's like this big monster in the room, and you've probably seen it before, and it turned out to like a little chihuahua, that licking your feet or whatever. But yeah, to me, it was kind of cool. It was letting go, and it really did take some of this stress that I had that was self-imposed, I might add, all right? Aggravating. Somebody aggravated the bejesus out of me, and I let it get in my head. And so I just turned around and just loved on this one incident, so it was cool. It was really good. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Bert.
Ania, I think for me, I'm definitely going to take your suggestion and listen to the replay of this. And the reason that I say that, even though I felt a drop from like the 10 to the 6, is that I did feel a sense of relief. And it's like when we finished, I looked around and my desk has still got papers everywhere, stacks, the 3 books that I'm trying to read at the same time. So what resonated with me out of the tapping and the words that you used is to focus on 3 things, right? And not all 10 of these things that I have to do. So I know about clutter in the office space and how it can show up in your mind. So I really just want to continue the declutter aspect and keep it going, even though 3 days later, I might be totally unorganized again, but I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do the tapping thing again later today.
Definitely. Thank you so much for sharing, Tim. And that's so true. Like Bob Proctor, what I've learned from him is like the state of your mind is the state of your outside surroundings as well. So if everything around you is cluttered, your mind will be cluttered too. So like, let's start moving some of that clutter and getting rid of it little by little. But it's important to like not focus on the big picture because then you're just way too overwhelmed. 3 little things per day. You've got this, Tim.
Okay, thank you.
Would you like to share what came up for you?
I'm sorry, speaking was muted. This is my first time here. I've been getting the emails from Super K, and I said, let me come on today. Let me see what, I didn't know what to expect, but when I went through the exercise, it was like almost felt like prayer, kind of like. And then the meditation, and because my anxiety was like super high, and then when I went through the exercise, it calmed me down, and it was like, wow, okay. Because I'm kind of overwhelmed with what I have to do, and but you say staying in what you said, I can do 3 things a day, at least I can start with that and then go into other things. So I'll, I'm you said there's a replay, so I would definitely access that, and then if I don't know how to get to it, but hopefully you guys can email me the link or whatever, or where I can get it, and then go from there.
We'll put it inside the Next Level Lifestyle Team private Facebook group, AB.
Oh,
I assume you're part of that?
I think I am. I don't. I mean, if I got this email, I should be. So.
If you just go into Facebook search box, just put Next Level Lifestyle Team, and it should pop up, and you can join if you're not already.
In the chat box right now.
Way to go, Ania. Very easy.
Yep. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, everyone, for being vulnerable and sharing. This was beautiful.
Thank you so much, Ania. It's great to have you today. Really appreciate that experience. That was phenomenal. Burke Hedges is up now. Burke, what do you want to impart to us today?
That's a tough act. Hold on a second. Yeah. Yep. You can hear me fine, right? Tough act to follow, I got to tell you. Oh, my goodness. All right. So can you imagine me actually preparing for this? Lately it's been, hey, whatever God puts in our heart, good enough for him, good enough for me, good enough for everybody. But, I'm reading a book called Atomic Habits. Not sure if anybody here has read it or not. Has anybody read Atomic Habits? All right, cool. So, generally I speak, what I like to do is, we're all about invested people investing in people, right? The one universal fact that everybody has, in my opinion, is a degree of suffering. Suffering, not getting what we want, things taking too long, people aggravating you. That's 100% me, because I let somebody rent space in my head. Remember, hurt people, right? And the universal thing for the most part is that a lot of people just don't have the tools to let go of the things that's aggravating them, right? And this is why Ania and David, myself and Kristen, we're bringing these tools, bringing these strategies to the world to say, hey, you can live a next level lifestyle, right? When you get better. And we've all heard, when you know better, you do better, and that's well said. So I've focused on the You Inc., that you are founder, president, 100% stockholder of your life, and everything in your life today has all been manifested as a result of how we think and our behavior and actions, or the lack thereof. So today I want to very quickly bring you up to speed on, habit number 7, I think, is balance your life, right? And or develop productive habits. And I'm also taking a course called Unclutter Yourself. So I think it was it Tim, or I can't remember who it was, maybe, yeah. I'll make sure to give that to you too. But the big idea here is this: it's the 1% difference. And in Atomic Habits, the author started the book with the story of the English cycling team. I don't remember exactly what date it was, but they were just dead ass last all the time. They weren't very good. They just never competed. So they desperately wanted to do well on the Tour de France, I think it was, but they always had a terrible showing. And this is the strategy that they came up with. And by the way, as I tell this story, I want you to be thinking, because when we break out here in a minute, what is the 1% factor that you could be doing in your life? So we're going to take a page from the book and this one story. And the cycling team, the coach said, what can we do differently? How can we improve our outcomes? How can we do better in our races? And what they decided to do was make very small, tiny little improvements in many, many different areas. And then the total sum of that, all right, would have them get better. So for example, the tire pressure on the bicycles, the weight of the bicycles, the training of the individuals, right? All these, the oxygen and things. So they just wanted to have a 1%. That was it. 1%, a little tiny improvement. But because of the total, all the other areas, right? They also had a 1% improvement with all the different riders. The whole team ended up improving to the point that they won. So the big idea here is the accumulated value of small incremental wins, little victories. And I love what Ania had to say, because not long ago I talked about another book that I was reading, and this was Dan Sullivan, right, talking about the 3 wins. I said, we got to get in the habit of winning, right? So get 3 wins a day, and they can be small, tiny little wins, but they got to be 3 wins, because losing is a habit and so is winning. And he talks about, hey, like I got the habit of spending money. This cat here loves to spend money, right? But I don't like wasting it. All right. So, and I like to make money too, but I like to make money giving people 10x value. So that's what I had to say today. Figure out a way how to, different departments in your life. All right. You can use the 5S, your faith, your family, your friends, your fitness, your finances, and maybe your fun part, right? And if you can increase 1% in those departments, the accumulated total would serve you greatly. So we're going to break out, and I'm going to turn it over to David. There you go. But anyways, bottom line is we got to figure out what are those 1% that we can improve on.
I love that. Thank you so much, Bert. And Lawrence, welcome today. It's great to have you here. I saw you on camera for a minute. If you don't mind jumping in with us again, that'd be awesome. Lawrence, Kristen is on the road today, so she asked me to fill in to kind of coordinate things. And we've got Ania Halama with us as well. So, Bert, thank you. 1%. So I would love to hear, is there an area of your life where you could think right now, okay, I could just make this tweak in that one area of my life. Now, I know Burke is saying cumulatively in lots of areas. That might be hard to think of in this moment. But is there something right now where you go, man, if I just did this small little thing? And I'll go first, actually. I, up until 2 years ago, well, I should probably just say I was addicted to Diet Dr. Pepper. I loved it. And 2 years ago, I quit drinking soda. Haven't had one since. And I was drinking a lot of water, tons of water. And but just recently, I started drinking these cans of Arnold Palmer. It's like half iced tea, half lemonade. And I've kind of gotten away from water. And so not that I feel the difference, but I know it does make a difference in my body. And so that's the 1% tweak I think I'm going to commit to, is like, okay, I'm going to get back to the water, less of the Arnold Palmer. So I think that's a good, right? That's small, very small. That's what you're saying. How about somebody else who wants to share? You're welcome to unmute yourself. What's a 1% little thing that you could do that you go, nah, it's kind of been nagging at me. I should probably do this. This is going to help me out.
Yeah, similarly, like I was saying as well, like the small successes lead to big successes. So we need to focus on the little ones before we get to the big goals. Sometimes we just overwhelm ourselves. For me, I've jumped off the bandwagon from working out and eating healthy. Like it was the holidays, and then it was New Year's, and then I have so many friends in Colombia. Everyone's like, oh, let's go out to eat. Let's do this. I was like, oh, all right. So my little thing that I'll be doing is making sure that I'm going to the gym at least 4 days a week, which I started last week was my first week, making sure I keep up with that. And then just start cooking at home as well. I eat out way too much. So I'm like, I need to focus on me again, focus on internally and make sure my body, because like a healthy body is a healthy everything else around you. So that's my little percent.
Thank you, Anya. How about Tim or AB or Lawrence? What do you guys think? Something that comes to mind, 1% little tweak. Yeah, Lawrence, go for it.
Yeah, sure. Year one for me was to basically set the foundation and get everything I wanted to do for the next 5 years firmly frameworked, which I did. My 1%, and I doubt I would call it 1%, is now I'm taking everything I did in year one. That includes all my experiences with a number of coaches that I hired, the programs that I completed, as well as the contacts I made. And now it's more about taking that, and the implementation part is now making the offers, where before I was testing the offers, if that makes any sense to you.
Mm. So now you're shifting from just testing to now making the offers, getting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I did put them out. Obviously, I have to live. I live in a very pretty affluent county in New Jersey, just outside of New York. I mean, I implemented, but I was spending as much time studying and learning, probably 50% of the time, and putting maybe 20 hours a week into my business. Now I'm just tweaking, doing maybe the updates because they have lifetime access with all my coaches, and
Nice.
just ready and going into doing the 40 to 50 hours of just doing the business.
I love that. Awesome. That's not 1%. That's
That's what
maybe we're going there. 50%. Come on now, you're going for it. I love it. How about Tim or AB? What's that kind of little tweak you're thinking about in your mind?
Same as Anya. I'm thinking as far as my eating, I think is okay. I mean, it can be better, but exercising has just been my struggle. So I think just starting at least just something, even if it's decluttering my apartment, that'll give me some exercise. And then I have a gym at my apartment, which I've never used in over 2 years. So I need to go back. So just that little move, I think it will help my health. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, AB. How about you, Tim?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the exercise thing too, because like this past week, maybe it was last week, I was in training sessions with Tony Robbins for 5 days. And, of course, Tony is all about mastery, right? And just pick an area of your life, not all 5 areas or whatever, not the 5 S's, right, Bert? But pick a area. And, I always notice that when I do exercise, I feel better. It was kind of like the little run I mentioned through the neighborhood this morning that was unexpected. But, when I got back home, I had like a burst of energy. Okay. And so if I would just commit to not like, I heard Anya say, go to the gym 4 days a week. Well, I go to the gym. But if I went 3 days a week, but did something, 30 minutes the other 4 days a week, where I was doing something every day, then I think that would move the needle forward for me.
Tim, I got to tell you, when you started sharing, I thought, oh man, this is a good joke. I was like, Tim, you had a good opportunity to go for a run this morning. I wasn't going to say it because I didn't want to be insensitive, but like you brought it up. I was like, you hit it, right? It's an unexpected blessing. Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
That's good.
Good. David, just one other thing, just to let you know what I've done on the cumulative thing. Like I stopped watching TV because the TV was taking up my time. And it's not about doing a lot. It's literally just reading a page a day, and it's over a year. It's what it accumulates to. But TV was something that was my 1%. So now I read books or books on tapes and stuff that nature. And that helps.
I love it.
Good.
Good. Well, I shared something yesterday in my daily training that I'm not too sure too many people saw. So I want to kind of share that story with you today and the principle that I'm kind of processing. And the question that I want to ask you is, are you asking for what you want? Are you asking for what you want? All right. So many of us, we don't even know what we want to begin with. Right? We may just have this feeling of lack or this nebulous negativity or this feeling of kind of feeling a little funky or there's something not quite going, or we actually have full on frustration in a particular area of our life. And so my question once again is, are you asking for what you want? So I'm going to give you an example in my own life. I started coaching this gentleman about 6 months ago. Actually, I was helping his wife start her online business, and she had such a great experience with me. She said, "Hey, my husband is in commercial real estate. Would you coach him?" And I said, "Sure. I don't know anything about commercial real estate, but I'll help him, whatever it is." And he is the top commercial real estate broker in Beverly Hills. And he does incredible work. And so I started meeting with him once a week about 6 months ago. And so I drive an hour and a half from my home here in Orange County, Beverly Hills. I sit in their $10 million house and we go through all the things, right? And so I've been helping him lots of different things. And one of the ideas that I came up with him was to cultivate relationships and help him become a thought leader among the people that he works with, is that we would host something called a Jeffersonian Dinner. If you've never heard of what a Jeffersonian Dinner is, it's based on Thomas Jefferson, our third president. He would bring together people from a wide variety of backgrounds, host a dinner to talk about one topic for the evening. All right. And the goal was not to develop consensus, but it was to develop a sense of community, a sense of learning from one another, and helping the people there recognize that we're more alike than different, that we actually have a sense of common humanity among each other. So people host these dinners. There's a specific format. I told him, I said, hey, if we invited 8 to 10 people that are very high profile landlords, very wealthy individuals that either you have worked with or want to work with in commercial real estate in Beverly Hills, we will create this atmosphere that will be so vulnerable and so transformational, because these people that he works with, they're in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and they are thinking about toward the end of their life, right? And I said the number one topic that we could create a transformational experience around is legacy, right? We get them together, we talk about legacy, that legacy is not just what you're leaving, but it's what you're living right now. So we put together this dinner. You guys, there was a billionaire there. Everybody else was multi-millionaire. They're all landowners in Beverly Hills. And then there's me, okay? And I'm sitting there at the table making it all happen. Now, ahead of time, he said, I don't feel comfortable telling them that you're my life and business coach. I would rather you just kind of be undercover. And so I was a little thrown off by that. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. So then, because you got to realize in this kind of atmosphere where you're dealing with the ultra wealthy, the sense of saving face and being seen as a certain image is very important. So at the beginning of the dinner, one guy says, hey, how did you even come up with this Jeffersonian Dinner idea? This is genius. This is absolutely amazing and genius. And my client says, well, I was just reading about it one day and I thought it was a really great idea. And so I thought we would put one together. Now I'm sitting at the end of the table going, are you freaking kidding me? What? Interesting. I got zero credit, right? Now, I wasn't there to get credit. I was being paid to make him look good. I was being paid for him to take his life and business to the next level. And it was an ultimate success. I mean, huge success. The evening was incredible. So fast forward, that was November of last year. All right, you're with me, right? You're sticking with me? We got a principle here. So 2 weeks ago, we're preparing for the Jeffersonian Dinner that was on Wednesday of this past week. We had 9 more ultra successful, ultra wealthy people of Beverly Hills coming. And I said, hey, because I learned from the first time, I said, hey, I would love it if you could share with them that I help people put on these dinners to create a sense of community and help them take their sense of being a thought leader to the next level. I would love it if you wouldn't mind saying that. He turned around and said, well, would you like me to just introduce you as my life and business coach? Wait, what happened over the last few months, right? Maybe I developed more relationship equity with him. Who knows, right? So just because I was willing to ask, not only did I get what I asked for, but I got even more. And so 2 nights ago, in front of these 9 ultra wealthy people that I want to work with, I want to coach them in terms of the executive level. I want to put on Jeffersonian dinners with them. Everybody's introducing themselves around the table, and it gets to me, and he says, hey, by the way, before David introduces himself, I want to let you know he's my life and business coach. We've been working together last year. He does incredible work, and he is the one who put on this Jeffersonian dinner with us, and he created the whole thing. Boom. All of a sudden, I got all these people saying thank you to me, appreciating it, right? Will I get business out of that? I don't know. But I just wanted the opportunity to be seen in that light so that I had the chance to serve them, right? It's all about I wanting to serve those people. But it would not have happened if I would not have asked. If I wouldn't have asked. The first time I didn't ask. And out of his own insecurity, he didn't feel comfortable putting me in that light. Now I'm going to tell you, we're doing a follow-up with the 8 guys that were at the first Jeffersonian dinner. We're doing a wine and cheese conversation in March. And he's going to say, if you'd like to put on a Jeffersonian dinner, David can help you. So my point in all of this is to illustrate to you that if you don't have something in your life, in your business, in your relationships, in your finances, in your health, in whatever's going on, have you asked for it? Some of you know I was a pastor for over 10 years. There's a famous scripture that says, ask and it will be given. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened. Now, it's in the context of Christian spirituality, right? I'm just going to let you know that that's a principle that's not only true in Christian spirituality, that's true in all of life. Ask and it will be given. Okay? Think about that with me. Ask and it will be given. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. So are you asking for what you want? Okay. Most of us don't. We sit back and we're frustrated by it. We're frustrated in a relationship. We're frustrated in a fight, right? So I want you to think about right now, what's something that you want in your life? Could be anything. And what would it look like to ask for it? What would it look like to ask for it? Not because you deserve it, not because you are trying to manipulate. No, because it's just what you want. It's what you have a desire in your heart for it. And if you don't ask for it, you're just waiting around for it to come into your presence. Now, I totally believe in manifesting, which is putting the intention out into the universe and having it come back. But the beginning part is actually asking, is actually putting it out there, right? To take action, to verbally ask for it. So right now, what is something that you want, that you haven't asked for, with clarity, with intention, that you want, that you may ask for you may ask it from somebody else. You may ask it from God or the divine, the universe. You may ask it from yourself. I don't know. What is it? What's something that's on your mind? I gave you an example in my own life. What's something that comes to mind for you? Something that you haven't asked for, that you recognize, I may not have that because I just haven't asked for it. Who has something that comes to mind?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I would say clarity. And again, it goes back to the exercise, of the tapping exercise, where Anna mentioned, focus on 3 things. So I do know that if I don't have clarity on what it is I actually want,
Yes.
I'm going to continue to try to do these 10 things every day and work 10, 12 hours every day, which I hated to do in my corporate life for 30 years, right? So my ask is for clarity on what it is that I want and then focus on that.
I love that. So you're asking yourself the question, what are the three things that I want to focus on? And only you know that, right? And it's something you've got to go into yourself and figure that out. That's great. You're asking yourself the question.
Right.
That's good. How about somebody else? A question or something that you want? Yeah, Lawrence.
Mine's simple because I pretty much asked, that was part of last year in 2021. But the only thing that comes to mind now is to just like go back to King Solomon. What did he ask for? He asked for wisdom. So I guess in acquiring everything I have to now, I want greater wisdom in being able to better handle what I've been given. That's
Awesome.
it.
That's awesome. So you're asking God to give you wisdom based on all that you have. Yeah, I love that. I truly believe that as you ask, it will be given. As you seek, you will find. And as you knock, the door will be open. You'll have wisdom flood into your life. I truly believe that. How about AB or Ania or Burke? Anything come to mind?
For me, so I just acquired this new business and we're slowly running out of funds, and we haven't really been looking at investors. We've just been giving our own money. So I'm asking for the right people to come into our lives in order to help elevate this dream that we have.
I love that. I love that. So you're asking, it sounds like the universe, God, but also you'll be asking the specific people for your needs.
Yes.
I love that. AB or Burke, what comes to mind for you?
So I've got a couple of a great subject, great topic, by the way. Thank you. I have a couple of books in manuscript form that are just about ready to pop. One's called The Prosumer Revolution. The other one's The Servant Soul. And you know, they're almost done, but I just haven't given birth to those babies yet. So, and I have not asked God for the focus and the resolve to get these done, get them into people's hands. So that's my big ask.
Good. AB, something come to your mind?
I have asked in prayers that that God will reveal the people that are not for me, and that manifested in a couple of ways. A business partner fell out with me just for no reason, and really showed himself. And he recently came back and apologized, but it's like the damage has been done. I think I probably can still work with him, but it's like, I'll have to have contracts and everything in place to even deal with him. So, but I guess the question I need to ask is, God, I want people that are for me, that I can work with in business that are that have integrity, character, and so that's. I asked for a certain thing that happened, but then I need to, I need the people, I want to attract the people that God has for me to work with as far as business, real estate, and whatever else, and people of quality, people of character. So that's just it.
I love that. A lot of us pointed out or thinking about asking God or the divine for some of these things. And I would just kind of nudge you to think about, are there specific people in your life that you need to ask something from them? So for instance, Tim, is there someone that would be helpful to be a sounding board? And you would say, hey, would you sit down with me for an hour and let me just talk out the things that I'm doing and help me gain clarity on those things? AB, hey, as you have people come into your life, you're going to ask them for specific things, meaning like you maybe need to make a list of the 5 to 10 things that are non-negotiables for you and people that you would do business with. And so when you sat down with them, you would say, hey, here are the non-negotiables that I have in doing business. And you would ask them to be on the same page. Or Burke, for instance, you going, it's not just asking God to give you the wisdom to, or the energy to do the books, but maybe it's asking someone, to either hire them to help you with doing those books. So it's specific asks of people. I love asking God. I love asking the, I'm all about that. But are there specific people? Because sometimes we can say no for them and assume that people don't want to help us, or assume that we don't have the resources for them to help us, or assume that they can't help us because we're too far lost in this, or what, I don't know, whatever it is. But that's my invitation to you, is to think about, am I asking for what I want? And it's not just asking the divine or God, but also asking specific people to help you with that. All right. Well, really thankful for all of us here today. Thankful, Ania, for your presentation. Thank you for Burke. I want to encourage you, if you haven't already, we have a 7-day kind of experience or challenge that's super motivating. And it's all about challenging us to make a difference in the world and serve other people. I just put in the chat, of course, I'm Kristen for today, just for the recording, the URL, and it's sign up at motivatedtoserve.com. For some reason, I didn't link here. Let me try doing it again so it'll link. But motivatedtoserve.com is where you can sign up for the 7-day motivational challenge to help us serve. It's just 7 inspirational texts and emails that will, the videos are just amazing that we've put together of top motivators and inspirational individuals. So you can check that out at motivatedtoserve.com. We'll be back here at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time next Friday for the Next Level Happy Hour. We do it every single Friday, and there's always something that's going to be just poured into your life by different speakers. I would encourage you to invite someone. Who is it that needs this? Who needs to feel tipsy on happiness? Who needs to feel a sense of invigoration and inspiration in their life, their work, their finances, their relationships, their business? Who needs this? And you can just tell them to go to, is it nextlevelhappyhour.com? It is, right? My goodness, how did I not know that? Nextlevelhappyhour.com. I'm going to type it here to make sure. Oh, did we get it? Yep. Yes, nextlevelhappyhour.com is where they sign up. My goodness, how could I forget that? So it's great to be with you guys. May you today think about, all right, what are those 3 things that you need to or want to accomplish today? Perhaps, right, you're focusing on income producing activities, things that are going to help you grow your business or create peace in your life so that you are empowered to grow your business, right? Because if we're all over the map, we're going to have a hard time growing our business and serving our customers and clients. So what are those 3 things that you are thinking about? Maybe you won't even want to write those down right now. All right. So may you accomplish those. May you have an incredible weekend. And hey, invite somebody to join us next week. Sound good? All right. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll talk soon.
Thanks. All right.
Thank you,
guys.
Dave.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Would you like to learn how to create magic and change your money mindset in just 10 days? Then the 10 Days to Money Magic is just for you. In just 10 days, you'll get past all of your limiting beliefs around money and finally be able to call in unlimited abundance. To learn more, visit aniahalama.com/money magic.